Well, I started because, firstly, I always loved music. And my musical education was initially classical music because my father was a big fan of classical music. And where we lived in Jamaica, there was a lot of space around, so he could play it incredibly loudly. So I grew up with very loud music, but it was like Brahms and Wagner and Verdi and Puccini. And I can't honestly tell you that I loved it that much at the time, but I'm sure that I absorbed it, and I guess sort of just innately took it in and recognized what was really good music of that period. Later on, when I went to school in England, I became friends with somebody who loved the music actually that came from this city right here. And so I sort of went from classical music to Jelly Roll Morton and Pinetop Smith and Albert Hammond's and all the music basically that came from here. And this was a music that for a long time I was totally stuck on. I really loved Louis Armstrong, of course. And then I kind of traveled up the Mississippi musically, and started to like music from Chicago, and then I started to like music from New York. So I guess, you know, my musical taste was rooted in classics, and then in really the root of popular music, which is from this city. So I love music, so I think those different experiences helped me to recognize, I think, what was good and what was not so good. And though I never sort of was thinking about it as a business to go into, it just happened because there was a band playing at a hotel, and I had a very good job at the hotel. I had the water ski concession, and teaching water skiing is actually really a great career. It has all kinds of wonderful perks. However, I really liked this music, and it was a blind pianist from Bermuda who was sort of Oscar Peterson-ish, but a bit more cocktailish. But it was good. So for some reason, I just felt that I just liked to record them. So I organized it, and I took them into Kingston, and we made a record. There was the guy who owned the studio was the engineer, and I just loved the whole process. It was in mono in those days, and you know, all the mixing was done when you recorded. Not like nowadays where you mix months or even years after you've recorded. So the mixing is actually done at the same time, and you know, at the end of a tune, you just hope that nobody made a sound, because again, in those days, everything was so, you know, you had to hear the last sound just die naturally, and everything was just so.